Chapter 22. The Second Bit of Luck. Gabe would have been satisfied with only having the 4 successes to report to C Squared. But instead of homework and activities, the whole camp was going to the theater to compete in Color War Jeopardy. And that was when they had their second bit of luck, and a surprise that was just as exciting as when Color War broke. Following the counselors, the campers marched into the theater and filed into seats. Streamers of different colors were strung between the seats to demarcate where each team was meant to sit. The curtain was drawn across the stage. Once everyone was seated, the counselors ran up onto the stage in front of the curtain. "Is everyone ready for Jeopardy?" one of them shouted. Everyone nodded. A few people clapped. One kid in the back said, "Yeah." The counselor put her hands on her hips. "I can't hear you," she yelled. "I said, is everyone ready for Jeopardy?" This time, everyone clapped and whistled and stomped and roared. "That's more like it," she cried. "Here we go." The Jeopardy theme song came blasting over the speakers as the curtain opened. Everyone sang along and then broke into applause again. It was a real Jeopardy set. Podiums, buzzers, a tower of blue screens, and all. The theme song ended, and the camp director's voice took its place. "Welcome to SCGE Color War Jeopardy! Here's your host, Alex Trebek." And then the most incredible thing happened. Alex Trebek came walking out onto the stage. The whole theater erupted into cheers. "That's Alex Trebek!" Gabe screamed. "The real guy from TV!" "Maybe it just looks like him," said Nikhil, but his voice betrayed his excitement. "No, that's Alex Trebek!" squealed Wesley. "Do you see him? That's really him!" Gabe had heard that once or twice in the past a celebrity showed up to break Color War, but Color War had already broken. Having the actual host of Jeopardy for their game was an amazing bonus. With such large teams, each person only got to stand at the podium and attempt to answer one question per round. Green Nation did well until Double Jeopardy, when a whole string of red players knew U.S. presidents the way Gabe and his bunkmates knew digits of pi. For Final Jeopardy, each team was allowed to come up with an answer as a group. The category, Native Species, had Green confident enough to wager more than half of their points. If they got it right and Red got it wrong, they could move up to first place. The whole theater was silent as Alex read the clue. "Native to this region, but rarely seen at Summer Center. This harmless snake has red blotches and a name that belongs in your breakfast cereal." The clue was accompanied by a picture of a long tan snake with big red blotches. Each blotch was outlined in black, like it came right out of a coloring book. Even though the clue said the snake was harmless, some people couldn't help but gasp at the sight of the photo. The green team, bunched up and anxious, whispered frantically while the Jeopardy theme song played. "Is that a garter snake? No, those are brown. I held a boa constrictor once. Don't you know all about snakes? No, I know all about lizards." "Quiet," said C Squared. "Does anyone know the answer for sure?" No one spoke. "What about that breakfast cereal thing?" said Gabe. "What does that mean?" "This harmless snake has a name that belongs in your breakfast cereal," Wesley read. "Raisin snake?" guessed one girl. "A lot of cereals have raisins." "Lemon juice snake, if it might have bacteria," mumbled Nikhil. "Spoon snake," said someone else. "You eat cereal with a spoon?" "What is it?" Gabe thought. "What is it?" The song was coming to a close, and the team had to write down an answer. In the last few seconds, another girl said, "Do raisin snake. Those red spots can kind of look like raisins." C Squared scribbled down, "What is raisin snake?" just as the music hit its final note. Everyone waited for the correct answer, but only the blue team looked happy. The yellow team wrongly guessed King Cobra, and their score dropped dramatically. Gabe wasn't too surprised when raisin snake was wrong, too. Now they had to hope blue and red got it wrong and had wagered a lot. Blue's answer was red-spotted snake, which was also wrong, but they were still happy because they'd wagered nothing. That left them in second place behind red. "Red Nation," said Alex. "Let's see your response." They held up their card. It read, "What is milk snake?" "Milk snake," said Alex, "or native to this region, eastern milk snake, is correct. Let's see what you've wagered." It didn't matter what Red had wagered. It was clear that they'd won. Disappointed at the outcome, but still enthralled by the spectacle of the whole event, all the campers lined up to get Alex Trebek's autograph. "Milk snake," said Wesley. "Why didn't we think of that?" "I know," said Gabe. "Cereal and milk. It's so obvious." Nikhil motioned for the camp director to come over. "Are there really eastern milk snakes in this area?" he asked gravely. The director shrugged. "They're native to this region, yes, but no one's ever seen one in my time here, and that's going on 20 years. But even if you did, they look scary, but they're 100% harmless." "You're sure?" Nikhil asked, just to be safe. The director patted his shoulder. "Positive." "We can't find our scavenger hunt stuff, and now we lose this," said Wesley. "I can't believe they knew the eastern milk snake." "Now I'll know it forever," said Gabe, looking at the photo of the snake on the big screen. "We're not out of luck in the scavenger hunt," Nikhil realized, forgetting the snake. "Let's ask David to take a picture of us with Alex Trebek. A photo of teammates with a real celebrity." Their high spirits restored, they got the host's autograph and took a photo. Wesley, beaming, said, "This is even better than meeting Shamu." Alex Trebek raised his eyebrows and said, "Thank you." Problem: am I a nerd who only has nerdy adventures? Hypothesis: no. Proof: things I can tell Zach, I'm not a nerd. Things I can't tell Zach, I am a nerd. 15. A celebrity came to camp and I got a picture with him. 15. He's the host of a game show for smart people. Chapter 23. The third bit of luck. Their third bit of luck came when they were back in their cabin after Jeopardy. Wesley sang, "We are the champions, my friends." He continued in the same tune but with his own words. "We found almost everything for the hunt. We are the champions, the scavenger hunt champions. We are the champions of camp." When he tried to hit the high note, his voice cracked, and Gabe and Nikhil burst out laughing. Thank you, Wesley said, bowing. That was "We are the Scavenger Hunt Champions," written and performed by Wesley Fan, Scavenger Hunt Champion. "Well, we're not Scavenger Hunt Champions yet," Nikhil reminded him. "We still need to find seaweed and red sand." "Still," said Gabe, "we can tell C-squared that we have 5 out of our 7. "That is really good," Nikhil admitted. 5 out of 7 is like... He did some mental calculations. 5/7. Gabe and Wesley cracked up again, and Gabe wrote that quote on their funny quotes poster right below the question Wesley had asked during lunch the week before. "Which would you rather be, a marsupial or a porpoise?" "I think," said Wesley, "that we deserve a reward for being Scavenger Hunt Champions." He stood on Gabe's mattress, reached up to the top bunk, and wedged his hand between his mattress and bed frame. "What are you doing?" Gabe asked. "My mom mailed me my all-time favorite snack a few weeks ago, but I was saving it till the very end of camp." "You've been sleeping on it for a few weeks? It's probably totally flattened." "That's okay. It's supposed to be flat." Wesley lifted the mattress up, pulled it toward himself, and balanced it on his head. Then he felt around the opening until he found what he was looking for. He jumped down from Gabe's bed, holding out 3 long flat sheets of plastic. "Ta-da!" he said. He gave Gabe and Nikhil their own sheets before ripping one open himself and taking a bite. Gabe turned his over in his hands. There was lots of writing on the package, but it was all in what looked to be Japanese. He ripped open the top and slid out the contents. It looked kind of like a dark fruit roll-up, only less sticky and much, much thinner. It was so thin, Gabe could almost see through it. "What is it?" he asked finally. "Nori," said Wesley. "We get it at the Asian supermarket. It's so good." Nori, Gabe thought. He closed his eyes, held the sheet up to his nose, and sniffed. It smelled like something he knew he'd smelled before, only he couldn't quite place it. "But what is it?" he asked. "Like, what's it made of?" It kind of smells like fish, said Nikhil. Yeah, because it's, what do you call it? Wesley thought. It's not fish, but it's from the ocean. But it's dried. You use it to wrap sushi. It's like, that green stuff that floats in the ocean. Seaweed? Said Gabe. Yeah, it's dried seaweed. Try it, it's so good. Nikhil shouted, Seaweed? We need seaweed for the scavenger hunt. Gabe said, and you've had it under your bed this whole time. Wesley's eyes widened and his mouth opened as he put together the pieces. Oh, yeah. I am the ultimate scavenger hunt champion. Don't sing, said Nikhil. Someone knocked on the wall that divided their section of the cabin from the next. It was C squared, for real, in their bunk. Gabe had thought he looked cool that day in the lice lab when he was wearing a shower cap, but he looked impossibly cool now in a white t-shirt, green hospital scrubs for pants, and a pair of khaki flip-flops. His black hair was cut short around his face, but in the center of his head a few strands from each side were gelled toward one another, forming a tent shape on the top of his head. It was a hairstyle Gabe had tried, but he didn't remember it looking as slick. Gabe thought that, as far as camp went, if they hadn't managed to get a picture with Alex Trebek, that picture with C squared would probably have counted. What's that about being an ultimate scavenger hunt champion? He asked. We all are, said Gabe. We already have 6 out of the 7 things on our list. As Nikhil would say, said Wesley, that's like 6/7. Nikhil shot him a look of death, and Wesley stopped laughing and added, just kidding. Gabe said, we're only missing... C squared finished his sentence for him. Red sand? Gabe wondered how he knew. Jenny couldn't have told him. They'd only just found the seaweed a minute ago. The mysterious way he seemed to know everything without even trying only added to his allure. Gabe said, yeah, I was thinking that if we can't find any red sand, then we could get some regular sand and dye it red somehow. C squared shook his head as if to say, amateurs. Where are you going to get regular sand? The lake only has mud on the bottom. Maybe mixed in the dirt on the playground? Nikhil wondered aloud. C squared shook his head again. Here's the deal. Red sand has been on the scavenger hunt list every year. The past few years, it was easy, because sand art was a choice for activities one night. So you just had to go in the arts and crafts closet and steal some. But this year, there was no sand art, and there's no sand in the arts and crafts closet. I checked. So, what do? Gabe asked. How do we get it? There's one place that has red sand, but you know why the sand is red there. Gabe felt goosebumps rising on his skin. He had a feeling he knew what C squared was going to say. Where? He asked. C squared looked him straight in the eye. Dead Man's Island. Problem. Am I a nerd who only has nerdy adventures? Hypothesis, no. Number 16. I'm going to kayak to Dead Man's Island in the middle of the night. I'll read more for you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend.